Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised. Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. This is your humble servant, Big Levi, and today is Noga, July 14, 2023, and it's currently 5:51 a.m. pre-recorded Eastern Time. Beloved, once again, we are back doing Esau's Trouble, and we are watching how the Mighty One is laying down the punishment upon 83, the Gentiles, and the heathens, whatever you want to call it. So, now, before I go into this, beloved, I want to make this perfectly clear, like we always do. There is no such thing as men or the elite controlling the weather, or they have this kind of power. This is all being done by the Holy One, okay? So now let us begin with what those people trying to make us perceive as being modern nature.
We do begin tonight with the dangerous new storms just as we come on the air. Severe thunderstorms and flash flooding expected into the evening in parts of the Northeast, parts of New York and Vermont again. This system already bringing at least 10 tornadoes outside Chicago. Passengers forced to shelter in place in tunnels connecting the terminals at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Those tornadoes across 3 states, 7 of them confirmed near Chicago, 2 tornadoes developing at the same time in St. Charles, Illinois. One twister touching down near O'Hare Airport, halting flights for a time. Twisted metal landing on a pickup truck there. Other vehicles damaged in a parking lot in Huntley, Illinois. Rooftops ripped off suburban Chicago homes. This same system on the move right now, hitting the Northeast tonight. So Rob Marciano will time it all out, and ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off tonight in Vermont, where, of course, they are bracing for heavy rain and floods yet again.
Tonight, severe thunderstorms that spawned at least 10 reported tornadoes in the Midwest overnight.
Copyright disclaimer.
Now targeting
Under
the
Section
storm-weary
107
Northeast.
of the Copyright Act 1976, allowing. Excuse me. Anyway, this is, and I believe in Vermont. Is that what that is? Let's double check that.
At least 10 reported tornadoes in the Midwest overnight.
10 reported tornadoes. Of course, we do know what that is. We do know what's going on. Okay, beloved, watch this. Let me enlarge the screen. This is not normal, okay? This is not normal. All right? So, what you're seeing here, it's pretty much the same thing like we said it before. What happened here in April 14th this year, 2023. It happened in Florida, Fort Lauderdale precisely. And I documented this. We streamed it live. It was really bad. And this thing happened for real. And the people that was mostly affected were not our people. Okay? And this thing happened in Vermont. And if you look at Vermont, let's look at the demographic of the state of Vermont, or the Green Mountains. Vermont demographic.
According to AP News, the percentage of Vermont's Hispanic population grew from 1.5% of the state's population in 2010 to 2.4% in 2020. The percentage of Vermont's black population grew from 1% of the state's population to 1.4%. Despite the increase in minority population, 89.8% of Vermont's population is white, second only to Maine.
All right. 89.1%, okay? Let's say we got 90% of them. They don't look like us. Yeah, we'll take them other minorities and stuff. Of course, we're not minority and things like that. It's only a few of us that are truly the children of the light and master of darkness and the mist. But there's a lot more of us more than them. But let's say we believe their whatever statistics they just gave unto us, this Google data I just read, they have 89% of them. So you mean to tell me those people that control the weather, they control the economy, they control everything, they have this weapon that they can control the rain, tornadoes and stuff, and they send it to a state that they know they have 89% of their people there, and literally completely destroy everything that they have. Well, over there, look, listen, this is not a convenience, man. No one would want their car to be submerged underwater like this, the homes surrounded by water. And you know for a fact, 83 do not like inconvenience. They don't like that. So if they do not like this, beloved, and they don't want that, we cannot say this thing was done by, the elite, or the 83 is doing this, they control the weather. No, this is all judgment for the treatment of the Most High children.
Now targeting the storm-weary Northeast. New York and Vermont once again in the crosshairs, just days after record-breaking rain washed out train tracks and roads.
This isn't over, and it won't be over after this storm.
The same system set to hit the Northeast already causing a flash flood emergency in Louisville, Mississippi, northeast of Jackson.
Just wanted to show this number 10 right here. This is 210 or 310, but the number 10 right here. And look at this, man. And they talk about the train track right here. Of course, we do know all the train tracks. They run upon the ley lines, and the energy that's going on the Earth, the magnetic field is switching. The sun is sending a lot of flare and magnetic pulse. So those things they are changing, they are shifting. So that's what's going on, all right?
The same system set to hit the Northeast already causing a flash flood emergency in Louisville, Mississippi, northeast of Jackson. Much further north in the suburbs of Chicago, they're cleaning up after a violent 24 hours in the heartland. Tornado sirens sounding.
You hear what they said here? Look what that fellow said. All right, listen.
In the suburbs of Chicago, they're cleaning up after a violent 24 hours in the heartland.
A violent 24 hours in the heartland. In Chicago, we have to put that word violent, so people will have associated this. So black folks, yo, black folks is just shooting people over there. In the midst of all that, they are coming in the suburban area. They are shooting people because there's a violent 24 hours. He could have said a dangerous 24 hours or very treacherous 24 hours. But yes, violence, But hey, whatever you want to say, man. Whatever you say, all right? Let's listen to it again.
Mississippi, northeast of Jackson. Much further north in the suburbs of Chicago, they're cleaning up after a violent 24 hours in the heartland. Tornado sirens sounding downtown during the evening commute. This funnel cloud spotted just beyond the planes at Midway Airport. And at O'Hare Airport, passengers sheltering in a tunnel between concourses. Homes in the southwest suburbs ripped apart.
When the winds kicked up really hard and really fast, and it was like, basement now, grab the dog, let's go.
But back in Vermont, officials late today confirming a 63-year-old man drowned in the floods.
A 63-year-old, you know what to do. You know what you're supposed to do. Beloved, if things like that are going on, if it's not absolutely necessary, please don't drive. Don't get out in the water. If it's not 100% necessary, especially the seniors out there. The thing is with flood, you really don't know where you're stepping in. It could be a shallow depth. It could be just as profound as the deep sea. It could be you step in in a hole that they were working. You know there's no hole there, but previously you did not see the previous day the construction were working. They made a hole there and they did not cover it properly and you fell into it. So 63-year-old, he's no more.
The governor warning
We need to remain vigilant and prepared. Do not be complacent.
And David, the streets of Montpelier are now lined with these gigantic piles of furniture and other items that were ruined in this week's flooding. And now there's even more rain on the way. Officials say they're monitoring the dams for more potential flooding, and they've had the National Guard preemptively position their teams for more possible water rescues.
Okay, so they do not have the National Guard over there shooting people because those people are looting places, man. They're not showing you, but they are looting, swagger jacking, taking, stealing things. But the National Guard, like Katrina, they are not there to shoot them down. They are positioned there to rescue them because, of course, oh man, it's a storm out there. Good grief. Man. Oh man, the storm. There's a thunderstorm out there. It might interfere with the internet connection, but it's gonna be streamed, so you won't have any issue. But I will if things happen. But anyway, those folks do not have the National Guard over there to shoot, kill people, and they don't show you any faces like people trying to get out of the water, struggling, people crying, saying, "What did we do to deserve this? Did God hate us?" They don't call them refugee. You don't see anything. They just report this stuff, show you a few train track and few debris and things. Nobody is suffering. Nobody's crying. Okay, well, yeah, whatever, man.
David?
Yeah, they just can't get a break. Trevor Ault leading us off.
No, they won't get a break. They can't get a break. They're not supposed to get a break. You're not going to catch your breath. This thing going to happen again and again and again. And every time it happens, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. They keep saying, oh, this is once in a lifetime event, once in 1,000-year event, but it keeps happening. How do you expect people to believe that this thing is once in a while, once in a lifetime, once every 1,000 years, once every this, once every that? No, this thing is happening because Genesis 15 verse 14, the 400 years is over, and then now the Mighty One say, I'm judging you, and you are the nation that did this to the people, and get the hell off the land. That's why the Holy One is sweeping you off the land, literally. Is doing that. That has nothing to do with, oh, hey, we have to bring the mythologies of that. What happened? But experts say that this happened every once of 1,000 years and everybody should be fine. That's not what that is, man. Let's keep on moving.
Conditions across parts of the Northeast yesterday. One woman was killed by the flooding in New York State.
Okay, a man died. I forgot the state, but a woman is no more? Okay.
Officials say there are others still unaccounted for. Errol Barnett is in New York with more.
Anne-Marie, good morning. Behind me, you're seeing what is left of Route 218. We're just north of West Point, next to the Hudson River. And as you can see, the road has been completely washed out due to the severity and the speed at the water last night. It pulled away the drainage pipe beneath this road. All of the soil and mud you see, as well as the asphalt and metal railing. Governor Kathy Hochul declared a state of emergency for this and other counties. And truly, she noted that the water moved so swiftly, it turned so many roads here in the region immediately into rivers.
Oh my God!
Floodwaters rushed through the streets of Highland Falls, New York Sunday after torrential downpours dumped at least 8 inches of rain in the area. Neighborhood blocks here turned into rivers, while further south, the flooding left these rows of cars in Stony Point partially submerged. First responders rescuing dozens of people by boat. Similar scenes playing out across the Northeast. Roads and bridges buckling under the weight of water in Norfolk, Connecticut.
The bridge on our property, it's basically floating on the water right now. If it comes up, I don't know, 3 or 4 more inches, the bridge will be gone.
Outside Philadelphia, this driver was rescued after being stranded on a washed-out road. Back here in upstate New York, rail lines weren't spared either. Water, mud and fallen trees have left train tracks either submerged or impassable.
Again, beloved, when you look at things like that, you're like, yo, this could not be a coincidence, or this could not be done randomly. This is targeted. This is targeted. The Holy One is targeting this place and specific community, specific people, specific demographic. It's targeting them. Okay? All right? Let us watch. Since you already watched everything, let's just let the whole thing play.
Disrupting hundreds of thousands of commuters' trek into New York City this morning. Now, for today, for Monday, officials are warning residents in upstate New York to stay inside. Governor Kathy Hochul spoke to WCBS, that's CBS Radio, last night, and noted just the extraordinary speed at which all of this happened. And she said that there are still missing individuals, Anne-Marie, without specifying the exact number. It was just a horrific system that moved through here.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely terrible. Obviously, the images tell the story. What is it like out there this morning?
Well, I tell you, Anne-Marie, as we ventured to this location, we saw many downed trees, tree limbs, debris where we are, just above the Hudson River on this cliffside. It's an area where there are signs about falling rocks. Well, that torrential downpour last night brought many of these rocks and boulders onto the road. So obviously the road where we are now is closed, but that's part of the challenge now as they look for people who are missing and as residents here wake up to assess the damage. There are some areas where people won't be able to commute through or get through, and so it may take some time before officials can identify exactly how many people are missing and find them. So it's a very scary morning for a lot of people.
And so to that point, you mentioned Governor Hochul said that people may still be missing. They're trying to figure things out. Are there rescue efforts underway? Is the weather making it even more challenging?
From what we understand, officials were waiting until daylight so they could get a better handle on exactly where to go and when. We know that over the weekend, they deployed as many assets as they could, including swift water rescue boats, as well as high axle trucks that can navigate in this type of terrain. So we'll get a better sense later today when they address the media and give us an update. But the problem, Anne-Marie, is that there's more rain and poor weather moving in. So if roads like this crumbled at the torrential downpour, you can imagine that there are other areas that are still soft.
Now, what they are not saying here, beloved, they are not saying, hey, we did not see this coming. Our devices did not point out we had to endure this, or we're going to have this issue, we're going to have this problem. Expert did not see this coming. It is after, when it's here, then they call the expert sitting there. Yeah, well, you have to understand, things like that happen back in the 351 BC in Rome, and this thing happened which caused the fall of Rome. Thank you, back to you, Jeffrey. Thank you, David, for your expertise in flooding. Thanks to the expert of flooding out there. We know this has been happening for quite some time now. They can't tell you that. They can't tell you, listen, we did not see this coming. It caught us off guard, just like it happened over here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This thing caught us off guard. Our instruments didn't see it. The meteorologists didn't see it. Make no mistake, beloved. What's happening over there in Vermont, what's keep going to happen, more rain are coming, is nothing but a hurricane. They don't want to say it. Oh, it's flooding and stuff like that. Wait, you got flooding. You have tornadoes. You have all those things, all this destruction, and there's no name for this thing. They call it, flash flooding hits northeast U.S., washing out roads and killing at least one. This is a freaking hurricane, all right? Let's keep on moving. Crazy.
Is the suspect in the deadly mass shooting in the city's Kingsessing neighborhood charged with 5 counts of murder. In his first court hearing today, 40-year-old Kim Brady Carricker was charged with a total of 11.
Okay, that's the fellow. Apparently, he's one of those Transformer guys out there. And, he's 40 years old when that thing happened. and 5 people or no more. And there are, I'm going to keep saying this again. There are a lot of people that look like us, brethren. This is a Samaritan. They are not our people. This is an NPC, a non-playable character. He's not one of the main character or one of the important characters. Those are people who are here to fill up places. They're just here to straining the processing on this computer. They are not our people. And there is a lot of people which are not our people. They will go out there, defend this behavior. Well, this and that will support him because he made this choice and stuff. Well, he killed 5 people, including 3 women, 3 to 4 women, a dude and a kid. Why? I don't know. There is another one, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago that threatened to kill men because men did not want to bake with them. And he was luring a dude online, and the dude, he looked just like a regular minus sign. He looks like a regular normal negative sign. And the dude, being a positive, thought he was messing with a negative. And then once he said, well, send me picture of whatever, of the oven. And then when the dude like, oh, what the hell? Oh, hell no, man. I'm not into this. And he, well, in this case, she went and filed a lawsuit to sue the guy. And then they start shaming men because men don't want to get down with them. And so, one of them, they've been threatened. They say if men don't accept them as negative, as because they believe they are, they're going to start going around and shooting men and shooting women. So the men won't have any choice once they kill all women, and then they can go ahead and the men will have no choice now to get down with them, because that's how the logic works. And a lot of people that look like us, especially women that look like us and claim to be in our community, will support this. They will support it because everybody want to be the next Rosa Parks. Everybody want to be the next Martin Luther King, the next Malcolm X, by doing things that has no, your stuff has no value, there is no real issue going on with you people, and then you coming over there and try to act like, this is for my civil right, my body, my choice and stuff. But now this dude go out there, with this AK-47, AR-15, whatever that is, blast people, and they never tell you why he does things like that. But remember, there was something like that happened in a school about 3 months ago. A transformer get in the Catholic school and kill a bunch of kids. And then he made this because they don't want to accept him, because they don't want to accept him being a negative. Although we men is the positive and the women are the negative, you need the electro and the magnetic fluid to walk life. So those people, they're going to go out there. If you do not accept them, they're going to start killing people. Those people were not even celebrate. The guy, one of the dude that he put down, he was just getting out of his house, go to the store, grab something. He didn't come back. There were 2 women, a mother and a daughter, I believe, that was in the car driving, and then they were put down. Crazy.
Offenses. 5 people were killed in that attack on Monday night. We also learned today that the 33-year-old mother and 4 children that survived the rampage were all riding in the same white Jeep. Action News reporter Corey Davis is following the investigation.
The accused shooter in this case appeared in court by video conference and sat quietly as the judge read off the serious charges. Locked up and held without bail, 40-year-old Kimbrady Carricker is now charged with 5 counts of murder, several counts of attempted murder, and a number of other charges, including carrying a firearm without a valid permit. The judge saying in court, quote, "Public safety is clearly an issue. There are no set conditions to ensure the safety of the community." Detectives say Carricker went on a rampage Monday night, shooting 7 people seemingly at random, killing 5 of them. Action News obtained security video being used in the investigation believed to show the shooter firing a high-powered rifle toward an SUV at the corner of 56th Street and Chester Avenue in the city's Kingsessing section. Investigators say a 33-year-old mother sustained cuts to her eye after the suspect fired into a Jeep Cherokee she was driving. We now know
She was just driving. Can you imagine you just pick up your kids or you just driving on your way to work and the son of a bitch just pointing his gun at you and start shooting you because he's mad about society. I'm mad. Society, man, they're making me so mad. I mean, nobody want to bang me and stuff. I'm going to go out there and then start banging on people. Can you imagine? And a lot of people that look like us, a lot of Samaritan and NPCs, they support this behavior. They support it. I'm so happy for her, and she decided to do that. Keep pushing this garbage. And people will say, well, this would never happen to me. I live in a safe neighborhood. This is what happened.
10-year-old was in the passenger seat and was not injured. Two 2-year-olds were in the back. One of them shot in the leg. The other sustained cuts from shattered glass. Investigators now telling us an officer jumped into the Jeep and drove all of them to Penn Presbyterian Hospital. Action News was there as officers looked into the shattered windows of the SUV parked outside of the emergency room. Families of victims who died are expressing their heartbreak and frustration, including the mother of 22-year-old Lashad Merritt.
You need a rot. You need a rot in jail. You know, you need to, because that was wrong. For a person that's not out here in these streets just going to get a snack, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, that's the kid. He was just going to buy something. He didn't come back. He has nothing to do with these brothers, okay? He just get out of his home. You know, he's not in a gang or anything. He just going to get a snack, and then he did not come back because somebody decided, hey, you know, I'm pissed off. And I see this on the news. When people are pissed off, they go out there and killing a bunch of innocent people. I'm going to do this too. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with people nowadays. I don't know.
Well, of course, the blessing is over and the Mighty One released all those stuff. And, you know, that's what happened. This is the last day. You know, Genesis 15 verse 14 is in the midst. There's nothing we can do about that. That's what's going on.
Attorney Larry Krasner says investigators expect to be able to say more about this case now that the arraignment is over. We're expecting to hear from the district attorney later this afternoon. The next court hearing is later this month.
Great glory. So we may never hear about this dude anymore. So, yes.
Helped her stay calm.
All right, let's watch this. Now, notice this.
So far this year, there have been 37 shark attacks worldwide, 6 of them fatal. And this nurse is now officially one of the statistics. She spoke with our Les Trent.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime adventure.
This is that word I despise. Once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Once-in-a-lifetime event. Once-in-a-lifetime weather. Yes, yeah. You know why those people do this? Because they can only live once. The moment they're out of here, the moment those NPCs are out of here, that's it for them. They have to enjoy whatever that they have to enjoy here because they can reincarnate it. A lot of them were coming out of that portal and then hiding in the bodies of people that look like us, and the portals are closed now. And none of them can come back. That's why their population are dropping, because they can't, whatever whole place they're coming out, they can't come back here anymore. And once they left this place, that is all. That's why they always say that you only got one shot at this. Once in a lifetime. This and a this. This and a that.
Snorkeling in the majestic Galapagos Islands, one of the world's foremost destinations for wildlife viewing. But the dream vacation turned into a nightmare for this ER nurse from San Jose, California, when she was attacked by a shark. It took 5 people to hoist her up. Delia Ariate says her training as an ER trauma nurse helped her stay calm as she was carried to a white pickup truck and carefully placed in the back seat. She was raced to the hospital where she received 100 sutures in her right leg. She spoke to me from her hospital bed in the South American nation of Ecuador.
How crazy is it that you got bitten by a shark and didn't even know?
I've been very, very lucky.
Shark sightings are on the rise across the globe. This paddleboarder got nervous when he spotted a shadow in the water off the coast of San Diego. Yep, it's a shark.
God, there he is.
But there's no fear for this dude. He's swimming with a school of sharks in the Maldives. They all look so chill.
As for Nurse Delia, she needs more surgery and desperately wants to return home to San Jose to be with her 15-year-old daughter. A GoFundMe account has been set up to help pay for a medevac. We've got more about that for you over at InsideEdition.com.
Okay, so we keep telling those people, of course, and again, this is plague number 7. Excuse me. Wild beasts will be their graves. We keep telling them, this thing gonna keep happening. Oh, don't worry. Shark attacks are, if they are so rare, that's like winning the lottery and things like that. Yeah, well, again, not only this thing gonna keep happening and happening at one time, you people won't be able to identify those things as sharks. You won't be able to identify them as sharks. And next time, when those attacks happen, this creature that you might see in there, it might not be, it might be something else. Okay, let me see if I can get my back up. There we go. Okay, this is the backup channel. We have a couple video in there. Okay. Okay, next time, it might be one of those creatures. Okay? Next time, it might be one of them just grabbing you and then 3 of them just tear you apart. You know? It could be one of those things down there. Let me enlarge that. It could be one of those things. And people are saying like, oh, well, you know, sharks and things like that. You know, it could be one of those things. It could be a creature like that, you know, looking at you underwater and ask you, what are you doing here? What's the password? And then you cannot answer, then you turn out to be a victim. Okay? Because wild beasts will be their grave. Again, they don't specify and saying sharks will be their grave and stuff. This is a beast. Wild beasts, all sort of things, Leviathan, Behemoth, and the mighty Sulanuf. You know, can you imagine you snorkeling and then a creature like that pop up on you? You know, what you gonna do? You're gonna like, you know, pull out a gun and shoot it? Those things are highly intelligent. Okay, they walk on land. What if you meet a creature like that in the jungle? One of those guardians that the Holy One put there. Huh? You might be able, something like that can pull you in the water, man. Now, what are you gonna do? One time people are saying sharks and things like that. There are other things in the water that are not sharks. You know? Okay? You know, what if you're snorkeling? You see those 3 women there staring at you. All right? You see this thing. What if you're snorkeling and something like that pop up on you and it's just looking at you? And then you say, my name is the Sulanuf. I'm what you're calling the Sulanuf. And then they describe the Sulanuf in the book of Joshua, just something like that. You know, what if you see this woman there swimming along with you? She has the face and the body of a woman and the face of the upper body of a woman, and the others are like, I don't know, lobster. You know, what if you meet a creature like this in the water? And they are in the water. Okay? This is not just thing we just imagine like that, Reggie, okay? Those things actually do exist. You know? They are not all that lovely, caring and stuff. You know, you met things like this, something like that is staring at you underwater, you know? Or something like that grab you and then bring you to their realm. You know, you met this dude like underwater, just like did this thing. So this is just you can go ahead and watch the video on the backup channel. They got other things there. We talk about the people, the aliens, and certain things. You can go ahead and watch, and we're going to upload more content, especially books. The book of Joshua will be available. It will be read by one of our sisters. The Throne of David, we will read the whole book again with no commentary. I will not make commentary. It will just read. This will be mainly for book reading and book listening. You can go ahead and go over there and check the backup channels. All right. Now, with that being said, brethren, a lot of the things are in the water attacking people so far are sharks. So far. All right. And then we might have something else attacking those people. We don't know yet, but it will happen. Let's keep on moving.
A teenager dies after going in the water in a New Jersey swimming hole over the weekend.
It happened in Cedar Grove in Essex County. An official say that swimming is prohibited in that area. Away reports it's not the first time someone died there.
This section of the Peckman River in Cedar Grove near Community Park is known as Devil's Hole, and on Saturday night the swimming hole lived up to its dangerous reputation. Police say a 16-year-old boy from Newark was with family and friends when he went into the water and didn't come up. After an exhaustive search, the teen was pulled from the water.
Everybody was just trying to work together and do what they could to try to save his life, but, you know, unfortunately, he was under the water too long.
Dave Candido is on the Cedar Grove Rescue Squad. He says he drove the ambulance that carried the victim to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
It's just a terrible tragedy. You know, it's something that I hope we never have to do again here because, you know, the cost to families is just terrible.
Swimming in Devil's Hole is illegal, and no swimming signs are posted. Police say trespassers are not only endangering their own lives, but the lives of first responders.
It's just extremely dangerous. It's deceiving. It doesn't look deep. It's at least 14 feet deep, as far as we know. There's currents in there due to the waterfall.
Okay, all right. Again, beloved, these things, some of them are, it could be portals, okay? Some of them have beings in them, all right? This boy probably pulled underground by one of those beings that we just showed you, and things happened to him. It could be like it's an accident, but what we've been seeing, there's a reason why they call this thing the devil's holes, okay? The devil's swimming hole. It's something is odd about it. Of course, I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, because there's a demon, there's a devil in there, but there's a somewhat an abnormality in there. Really? This thing is abnormal. It's something is going on in there. They just said, okay, this boy drowned, or something else could happen to him. Okay. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of activities going on in the water and a lot of things, and I will ask our people to stay clear, man. This is not the time for this. Now, this is not the time to go around and hang out and with people in a certain place. You know, if you're not with the brother, with the sister, man, you know, just stay home, man. Just chill home. Go somewhere, you know, you not actually put yourself in danger. You know, to go swim with a bunch of sharks and things like that. Come on.
And it's very rocky.
Another teen died in Devil's Hole in 2014. Despite the danger, swimming here has been a rite of passage for some, especially teens, for decades.
Just growing up here, it was a common place to meet, especially before the internet.
Police say they do regularly inspect this area to make sure no one is swimming. In fact, they say officers came by here Saturday night around 5:15 and no one was here. Just minutes later, police say the 16-year-old entered the area, went into the water, and drowned. In Cedar Grove, New Jersey, Nick Calloway, CBS 2 News.
And in the wake of this latest tragedy, township officials met with engineers at the site to discuss permanent ways to keep trespassers out of the area.
This is the problem. Why would you want to keep people out of the area? It's a natural place. People are dumb enough to come over there and then die. That's the business. Of course, they're going to try to keep suing the place. Oh, you should have put things over there to prevent my son from dying. Oh, my... Yo, it's a freaking natural place. So what's next now? We're going to put walls around the beach so the people won't go over there and then get attacked by sharks or won't drown. That's what it is, man. You don't know how to swim. You don't go over there, and you don't go over there alone. Anyway, man, whatever you say, dog. Let's keep on moving and stuff. Anyway, Genesis 15, verse 13. This is the reason why all those things are happening, and people really not talking about those stuff, and they are looking what's going on over there in Ukraine and Russia or over there in Asia. But as you can see all over, things are not doing too well for 83. So because Genesis 15, verse 13, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. What you're seeing right now all over the world is a judgment. That's why they say shark attacks are up around the world. The killer whale are sinking boats. They're attacking people. Some of them may not be killer whale, brethren, okay? Some of the creature, like we said again, they could be something else, but they just tell you, oh, hey, it's a killer whale. It's like a killer whale. A killer whale, yes. They might take one. Excuse me. They might take one thing and say this is the killer whale did this, okay? But it could end up being something like that, okay? It could end up being another thing, another creature, things we never known before, but because we studied that in the Sulanuf, the behemoth, things like that. It could be a giant snake, serpent, sea serpent. It could be something. All right. The reason why those things are happening because the Holy One has released those things in the midst. Okay. It could be any of those creatures. Okay. It could be something like this. Okay, something like that. It could be this woman right there. All right, terrifying. But they said it's shock attacks and things like that, and we just take what they say. But it could be that woman that did this. But anyway, the Great Sulanuf. All right, so let me get rid of this. There we go. So Genesis 15 verse 14, and the mighty one sent 10 plagues. Okay, what you just witnessed a few videos ago was wild beasts will be their grave, and you will have a lot of beasts. It will be sharks, well, it is sharks, killer whales, dogs, and beasts we know, and then there will be unknown beasts. Certain things that you never known before, you never seen before. They will attack and eat those people. Okay, vultures too. Don't be surprised if you see a dragon, a griffin, a freaking unicorn killing people out there. Things are gonna get crazy, okay? All right, beloved, let's keep on moving since we're done with this.
Following developing news tonight in Rolling Hills Estates, where a landslide has destroyed at least 12 homes there.
Many of those homes have cracked, some even crumbled to the ground. It's all happening on Pear Tree Lane. That's in a gated community in the Palos Verdes Peninsula.
And KCAL News reporter Lauren Posen has the very latest on this very fluid situation tonight. Lauren, you've been there all day. Have those homes moved since you've been there?
They have, Leslie, but the thing is they're moving very slowly. And so right now it's just wait and see. Firefighters say it's too dangerous to be on Pear Tree Lane right now. So we're actually across from the canyon. And I want to show you something because you can actually see the last house on that street there, and you can see the damage from the back and just how the house is crumbling. And let me tell you, we're quite a distance away, but we've actually heard some of the popping sounds and noise as that house continues to slide down the hillside here. The good news, no one's been hurt, but this destruction is just devastating. Slowly sliding to the ground, Sky Cow flew over the homes destroyed by a landslide on Pear Tree Lane and Rolling Hills Estates. The homes look like they're folding in. The garage smashed, cracks throughout the pavement and up the walls.
In the course of the last 2 or 3 days, it's been what you might call a little dramatic. Buildings changing positions, degrees of angle, popping.
Firefighters say they noticed a shift in the land around 4 Saturday afternoon. By evening, they went door to door and red taped 12 homes. 16 people were given 20 minutes to pack up only what they needed and leave. The hill these
Again, beloved, you're seeing this thing reoccurred, and keep happening, and people are not saying why. You just see how the so-called authority just pop up to the city. Well, you got 20 minutes to get the hell out of this home. Wait, this is my house. Well, you gotta get out, or this home going to collapse, or it's going to landslide. You need to get out. You've been seeing this for the past 2 years, ever since this thing happened over there in Surfside, the Pancake over there in Miami. Okay, the mighty one, the earth is fighting. And of course, they're going to try to do their best to get a person of color or somebody that look like us to come out there and say, oh man, this thing is so bad on us. This is very bad. Oh, things is bad. Oh, you need to go back to the church and pray for things to become good or things to be good. Things like that. Whatever, man. Look at this.
homes are on drops into a canyon. Officials say is about 50 feet below. There's a ravine behind and nothing at the bottom of it.
To think that these homes were intact, yesterday afternoon, and today you can hear the creaking, the cracking, the crumbling, and they're going to fall.
The big question is what's causing this to happen. One homeowner told us there's talk a pipeline broke a couple weeks ago.
Gardeners had noticed subterranean, he called it a river. I never witnessed that. But the pipe, when it was broken, was gushing to the surface.
Officials.
It could actually be a river. It could actually be the subterranean rolled out there expanding. It could be this. The gardeners say, hey, I saw a river going under this thing, and then those people like, it's a pipe that broken. Huh? A pipe under those home broke out, and then all those things slide out? Huh. Okay.
They'll say there was also a sinkhole less than a mile away from the landslide, but right now it's too early to pinpoint an exact cause.
It's land movement, and the land movement could be based on the excessive rains.
All right, Pete Goodrich, an expert, building and safety expert. Pete is here telling you like it's landslide and stuff like that. They didn't see it coming though. They didn't say, you know what, in 2 years, if you people don't get your heads together and this thing going to slide, I'm warning you. And then they come back to this. You see, I did warn you people 2 years ago because I was a fucking expert. You guys didn't listen. If all of you eat hash, I'm out of here. No, after it happened, you have to understand the reason why this happened. Listen to me. I'm a geologist expert. It is because the landslide, things are moving. You're on the earth, and that's all. And then, back to you, Jeffrey. Yeah, whatever, man.
That we had, or it could be some other thing that we're not aware of yet.
For now, all homeowners can do is just wait for nature to take its course. Firefighters extended the safety perimeter to protect nearby homes, but the threat of more evacuations hasn't gone away.
And I was up actually most of the night worrying about what's going to happen.
Nice hat, Equinox.
Yeah, that fear and anxiety is exactly what's going to happen here because really no one knows yet. Firefighters do say that they do know, however, that the damage, of course, is going to continue at these 12 homes as the hours go by. And because of that, the deputies with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department will be patrolling the area to make sure those houses stay secure. Now, Ross and Leslie will be out here all night long, and I'm going to continue to touch in with firefighters and officials to give you the latest updates. I'll have an update for you in our next hour at 9 o'clock. Reporting live in Rolling Hills, Lauren Posen, KCAL News.
All right. Again, beloved brethren, sistren, you are seeing how the Holy One is sweeping those people off the land, destroying their houses, and they are becoming homeless. And don't be giving me that crap. But Big Levi, you have to understand, brother, that the consciousness of these people are doing this thing because they want the insurance money, man. They are doing the Illuminati. Big Levi, I gotta tell the nation the Illuminati is doing this for insurance money, you know? What's your opinion on that? Well, my opinion on that is shut the hell up and go shove a living snake up here. But anyway, this thing is happening because Genesis 15 verse 13, the mighty one is in the midst and this thing is done. And you're saying it live, brethren. I'm not making this up. This is not Jacob's trouble, okay? Lord forbid that thing happen in the hood. You'll see our own people will beat him up on their own people. You see, I told you Negroes, Jacob's trouble will start. The mighty one is like, because we don't belong to this land, you're going to shape us to Ishland over there in that desert and say, oh, hey, I'm crushing your house. And you go live in the desert. Because otherwise your house are going to land the chariot.
29-year-old woman missing since Hurricane Harvey has been identified as the human remains found last year in a barbecue pit. A relative spoke exclusively to Fox 26's Randy Wallace, who's joining us live from the newsroom. Randy.
Caroline, relatives of Miranda Rodriguez spent the last 5 years hoping she was alive. That hope was dashed on Monday when her remains were scientifically identified.
It feels like we lost her twice. When she went missing and then now.
While Hurricane Harvey was creating havoc all over Houston in August of 2017, relatives of 29-year-old Miranda Rodriguez were trying desperately to find her.
She had contact with her dad and they were going to have a meeting place, and she didn't respond after that.
Fast forward to July of last year. A man hired to clean a barbecue pit in the backyard of a home at 5207 Peach Creek Drive finds a human skeleton in the pit. On Monday, those remains were identified as Miranda Rodriguez.
That's a terrible way to find this, man. Now, you see, there's a lot of people that were dead years ago. They are finding their body. Not only that, they are finding their culprits. The people that did this, the murderers, the offenders. But that's terrible there, man. That's not good. The barbecue pit, man, did they eat that woman? I mean, that's what make you think, but wow.
Broken. She wasn't not nobody. She was precious somebody to us. And, to be in the back of a house for that long with no answers is disgusting, and it's unacceptable.
The address means nothing to Rodriguez's relatives.
That's why we were in shock, because she does have family that lives in the area, so we were like, man, she was 5 minutes away.
Houston Police Homicide detectives are now investigating.
It does bring us peace that we can bring her home. We can have a service for her. There's another side of it. There's somebody who actually did something very horrible to her. She came home. We prayed for God to bring her home. It's just not the way we wanted it.
Well, you be careful what you wish for. Oh, wow. This is quite disturbing. Terrible things, man. Let's keep on moving.
Are feeling the hit. And Local 10's Glenna Milberg is live now with much more on this controversy. Glenna.
That hit, Calvin, exceeds $20 million in lost convention and event business so far just in Broward, and the tourism folks have begun keeping a list of that, a list of groups who really want to come here for this, but have decided not to, and specifically citing the political atmosphere here.
Crap. The music, man.
Doing what we do best.
That little known Black History fact.
Ladies! Tom Joyner, the latest to pull his event from South Florida for Labor Day weekend. Fort Lauderdale is still on his website. The event will not be.
This is not a partisan conversation. Tourism transcends politics.
Broward's chief tourism promoter on This Week in South Florida Sunday detailed Visit Florida's list. Now 10 conventions, conferences, and events through next year that chose to go elsewhere, specifically citing the political climate.
And they don't want to suggest that they're going to someplace to bring their business, which may not be as friendly to their core values as others.
There you go. Always shoving our people into their stuff. Those are not our people. Okay? NAACP. Okay? NAACP. All right? Well, the NAACP don't want to come down there because they don't want the rainbow situation to be stuff. And then these guys, those are not our people. Those are NPCs. Those are non-playable characters, non-important characters. They just people that are there to fill up the void, the place. They just walk around and wandering around. You can follow them, just randomly pick somebody that look like us, follow them. You will see they do nothing. They just walk around and stop, and then they look up, they look down, they put their hands in their pocket, they look at their hands, and then they sit down, they stand up, they walk, they work, and then they are looking around. They just here to be here. No souls.
Tonight after what police say started as a lover's quarrel and an egging prank that ended with shots fired and a victim dead. Now, police say the 3 teens drove to the victim's house and started throwing eggs. When a 22-year-old man came out to confront the 3, police say one of them grabbed a gun from their car and shot him before driving away. Now, all 3 are in custody and all 3 are facing murder charges, even though
This is very immature. Throwing eggs at someone's house, because they've done this before, they got away with it before. And frankly, beloved, those people really don't care. Like, yo, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. I don't care. I don't care. But after 30 and 40 years in there, and you start thinking like, I'm not gonna get out of it. Spent 30 years in there. You went in there when you were, I don't know, 18. You're 48 years old. You're sitting there, and you're thinking like, yo, I ain't gonna get out of this place, man. I never had a family, and the only friends that I had, they put me here because something as stupid as somebody I was in a love quarrel, and then they say, hey, let's go egg his house or egg her house. And then when we go there, you know, thinking this would be fun, and then somebody died.
only one of them pulled the trigger. I'm joined now by News Nation law and justice contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer. Jennifer, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
It's good to see you, Natasha.
So, Jennifer, let's start with all 3 facing murder charges, even though police say only one of the teens pulled that trigger. Help us understand that.
Yeah, let me draw the...
That's a great question. That's a great question. Usually they would have let all of them go free if the victim looked like somebody else. But yeah, they're charging all 3 of them? What's going on out there? Okay.
This analogy for you. If you go to rob a bank and you get your buddies together and you have one driving the car, you have one standing outside watching for people, and then you have the other one go in and rob, and that one shoots somebody, all 3 are going to be held responsible for felony murder. That's what happened here. They all conspired to take eggs and throw at this house, and they were all present during that conspiracy.
And then they committed a crime. Now, beloved, of course, since the people that study with us, because we are quote unquote intra templum, we can look at those people by just looking at their eyes. And there are certain things we can see, others can't. When you look at the eyes of this young lady right there, okay, similar to this guy, to this fellow right there, look at the dude's eye. Look at the other eye. Look at his eyes. Look at them. Look at how dead eyes she look like. They have no life in them, no soul. They just sit there like there's no expression here. There is no expression of grief, no expression of regrets, remorse, none. They just sit there like, what? Why am I here? When I'm getting out so I can go ahead and egg another house and shoot another person. They have no, they just sit there like, huh? I don't know what's going on here. And guess what, brethren? Those people are playing dumb, okay? They really know what they are doing here and why they are here, all right? We can see this. Their eyes, they are dead. There's nothing. They are lifeless, okay? You can see this in anyone's eyes. You can see how, you can see the demonic possession, if you want to call it that. You can see how lifeless they are, okay?
When that gun was fired and killed that victim.
Tell us about the importance of intent here. Can the teens claim that they only went to this house to egg it that night?
No, they're going to be charged, and under the law, even though it seems like a very broad parameter, that's what the law says. Okay. If one of your partners, one of your co-conspirators decides to kill somebody when you are doing a felonious assault on a house, you're going to be charged equally for that.
Okay.
And Jennifer, we know specifically 2 are charged with murder, the other facing a malice murder charge. Can you help us make that distinction? And is there no first-degree murder charge here? Why do you think that is?
Well, there's no first-degree murder charge because clearly from the evidence we have, they came to throw eggs at this house and just to vandalize. And then when things got heated up, when the individual approached them, they went to the car, drew a gun, and shot and killed. So you can see that it wasn't meant to go to murder him, but rather...
No, it was. It was. It was meant to murder him. The moment they went there with a freaking gun, they just went over there. They say, if we're gonna throw the egg, and then he's gonna come out, and then once he come out, we're gonna kill him. That's what it is.
Rather to egg him. So that's why first degree is not on the table in this instance. As far as the other charge being more of a malicious charge, that's going to be the person that actually shot.
The sheriff's office says the investigation is very much still active. What else could they be looking for at this point?
Oh, they need to have all the information, say, from their cell phones so they can show this conspiracy. What did they actually plan to do? Why was that gun in that car, Natasha? Were they actually planning on, if he came out, that they would actually get that weapon and shoot? Because that's what happened. So they're going to be looking for all information to tie in what the actual conspiracy was agreed to.
And very last question, any insight into whether they will be tried as minors or adults?
They'll be tried as an adult. They're 18 and 19. They will be tried as adults.
That's the thing, teen. How is this teen? Somebody, how are those teen? They are 18 and 19. This dude got a freaking... this dude had a freaking mustache. A massive, giant Adam apple. How is he a teen? And he has a magnificent haircut. You see, this is what happened to you when your gardener turned out to be also your barber. You know? This is what happened to you when you take a blender, you shove it in your head, you turn it on to get a free haircut. You know? This is what happened to you when you don't have a clipper, but you use a chainsaw. This dude, he's not a teen. Those women, he's not a teen. There was a video that I made a few months ago. And something happened, and then we were referring to 18-year as an adult, and somebody put a very smart comment and say, "Oh well, if you're 18, you are a child. This is pedophilia." Somewhat, I was enticing the idea of an 18-year-old is good to go. I don't know what that person was referring. Say, "Oh well, you're 18, you're still a child," and stuff like that. You know, when it comes to things like that, you know, they were trying to telling me, oh well, this thing is it's not this is inappropriate for 18-year-old. Yeah. Well, you can join the army at 18 and murder and kill people. Okay, you can join the police officers. That was what that is. Whatever that requires you to be 18 and kill people. But when it comes to you murdering people and then do stuff, all suddenly now I'm a teen. Try me as a teen. Try me as this. Don't try me as an adult because I didn't know what I'm doing and I was doing this thing because I was in love and stuff. You murdered this guy, and they never said who shot the fellow. But anyway. Wow. We're already 1 hour into this. All right, beloved, let's stop this right here because, of course, YouTube scumbag stuff. All right, let's stop this right here. We're going to do part 2. This is part 1. Part 2, we're going to cut this off. We're going to get another part and part 2. So you can just seek for it or you can just wait. It will automatically play as the second part of this video. Trying to put some space here, and we really don't want YouTube to ban all our video for 2 hours we just did because there was some music in there and trying to say, hey, you can't upload this video because the owner said copyright, taking all the money and stuff like that. We don't want that, okay? I will see you in part 2.